you hear people talk about marriage in Black community, they talk about it as undoing harm by white supremacy. But then what the goal is, right? They're like, let's bring back Black marriage and the family structure that they have.
Yeah.
In this white supremacist, highly capitalist
Yes.
structure.
Yes.
And I was like, really, that's what you came back to? You didn't do any research as to all of the ways in which family and community have existed. You know, if you say you want to get back to and undo the harm of white supremacy, like that would imply that you've spent some time with what existed before.
Yes.
And yet
Yes.
that's not what people do. They immediately just want this exact same image. And I think we have to investigate that.
Yeah. People that, you know, every time Michelle Obama or Barack Obama is discussed, they always talk about their relationship. Beyonce and Jay-Z, they always talk about their relationship. They are relationship goals. These are people that we should be looking to, right? And I just invite folks to find me a queer Black relationship that is also exalted in the same ways, right? Why is this important for Black people to see this type of relationship, but not honor all the myriad of ways that Black people are in relationship? I cannot walk down the street and walk past a Black person without acknowledging them. That is a cultural way that we engage with each other. White people do not do that, right? Like that is actually being in community. That is relatedness. That's relationship. Every friend that my mother has ever had is an auntie, right? They were just friends. We're not related by blood, but that fictive kinship is a example of the expansive ways that Black people do community. And I have to say that Black women have been at the forefront of expanding the ways in which community looks. And I feel that always moving into this exalting of romantic relationships, which ironically or not, Black women rarely have access to, some of the most unmarried people. It is a distancing to Black womanhood. It's a distancing to Blackness. And I think that is a direct assault to not wanting anything to do with Black women.
Right. Absolutely. And I think also when I think about our survival, right? Like when I think about Black women and Black femme survival, it's never a story of a man coming in and doing that. And I think about the relationships that sustain us. You know, I grew up in the Seattle area, which is very isolating for Black people. And there's a way in which if you want to survive, you either forget that you're Black in a way that's really toxic and harmful, or you cling to Black community. And I was absolutely a clinger to Black community. Yeah. And I, you know, over the years when I worked in tech and like worked in cubicles, worked in customer service, you know, and in my 20s as a single parent, I'd watch Black women be harmed so deeply, repeatedly, over and over again in romantic relationships.
Yeah.
And they were the ones, right? We were the ones coming together, showing up to court, showing up with wine, you know, to have a night to try to relax, you know, holding that space. And it was always, in some ways, talked about like a space filler. Like, hey, you know, we're single right now. Every Friday we get together and we watch, you know, Project Runway. That was the thing that we used to watch back in the day. And no, this is relationship.
Yeah.
This is the closest, most sustaining relationship.
Yeah.
That we had through decades. Yeah. And yet we don't honor that. Part of what upsets me is white supremacy wants us to feel like our survival isn't important, that there isn't something magnificent about the fact that we still exist.
Yeah.
The fact that we still care for each other and love each other. And I want us to appreciate what we do outside of systems and outside of white supremacist ideas.
Yeah.
It is not a placeholder to care for each other.
Yeah.
It is not a placeholder to build platonic or non-sexual relationships that can be incredibly intimate.
Yeah.
It's not a placeholder to have queer relationships. It's none of this is a replacement or a thing to do because you can't have these white supremacist ideals around relationship. It is the beautiful, magnificent story of our survival against all odds.
Yes. Yes.
I want to honor that.